You can just do what makes you happy and tell no one about it. There are so many people who want to, as soon as something good happens to them, they want to tell everybody. And even worse, they don't just tell everybody when something good happens, they exaggerate what's going on. And it's really strange because I've been there too, where I've been working on something and someone will ask me, hey, how's this going? And it might be someone that maybe I'm a little bit competitive with or something like that. And they'll ask me, how is this going? How's this thing going? Let's say, right? And my first reaction is to tell them not only how it's going, but to exaggerate how well it's going. And that doesn't mean lie. It just means I might really try and focus on one thing and talk about, maybe what this indicates for the future, right? You might say, "Whoa, I started this workout plan." Let's say, right? Started this workout plan, and yeah, I haven't lost any weight yet, but I can see that my abs are starting to come in, or you say whatever it is, right? Things that are like indicative of future results. And then the difficult thing about that is then it holds you to those results. And when you actually get them, and they might be really spectacular results, it doesn't look like you've done very much, honestly, because that's what you already said you had achieved, let's maybe weeks or months ago. So then when you end up having that result and you're like, oh, you actually get that, it's kind of like, it seems like you haven't progressed at all. Um, and so that's why it's so important to just do what makes you happy and tell no one. You don't need to tell people what's going on. Now, of course, if you're lucky enough that you have people in your life who care about you and you care about them and you're able to just confide in them and tell them the truth. If you're not doing that well, you can tell them that. If you're doing really well, you can tell them that, and that's great. If you can do those things, then that's awesome. But don't worry about telling the average person what you're doing. And now, this might be, yes, verbally, face to face with somebody, but this can also be through other mediums. Now, what sort of mediums am I talking about? Well, one of them, of course, is social media, right? It's very easy to want to just post something on Instagram and say, oh, look at my life. It's so great, right? When we all know, at least we should all know by now, that social media, a lot of times, especially Instagram posts, are highlights of the best possible moment of your day, maybe of your week. And then you throw filters on top of it and you even try and stage it a bit so it looks as good as it could possibly be. It's like exaggerating the best part, which is kind of speaking back to what we just said a moment ago, when you're telling people what you're doing and what's going on and you exaggerate the best parts to try and make it seem like you're even more just kind of awesome and sick than you already are, right? But what you'll find is it really destroys your happiness. It really does. What makes you really, really happy is when you just do what you enjoy and you don't ask for permission. Because there's something that I've shared on this channel many times that I'm going to share again. Is that anyone who has any opinion about you at any time, they're going to disappear from your life at some point. They're not going to be there. And the people who remembered those people are also going to disappear from their lives at some point, and so on and so on and so on. And so, what does this mean? It means that the only person that's really going to remember the things that you did while you're here on this planet is you. So you can just allow yourself to do the things that you like and not have to care about what other people think about it. Now, of course, this is a general message that you've probably heard time and time again, that just do what you want and don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Excuse me. But it doesn't really matter if it's a general message because people need to be reminded more than they need to be told. You already know this. But if you have something that you want to do, a hobby that you like, somebody that you're interested in, a business you want to start, it doesn't matter what other people think. It really doesn't. Now, of course, there are different cultures that where it does really matter, right? Your family, let's say, has to really like who you're going to marry or whatever. But there's people that are really close to me that I know who've had issues in that domain where maybe who they're with isn't they don't get along that well with their family and they've worked hard on maybe building their relationship, but it wasn't an organic thing. And it probably isn't an organic thing uh, even at like in the present. And so my point is, as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So just do what you like to be happy, and you don't have to tell anybody. You could just enjoy all of those things without needing to feel like if other people aren't celebrating your wins that they're not worth celebrating. Of course they are. And you know what? The more you do this, you'll find that you attract real people into your life who actually want to celebrate these things with you. And that's when things get really interesting. Is when people they're just attracted to your life because they like you and you like them. And it's no longer about what you have or whatever. It's just, frankly, you enjoy their company and they enjoy yours. And then you can share your wins with those people. So, other than that, just do what makes you happy and you don't need to tell anyone. You don't need permission to pursue things that you like. Now, if you've watched this far, and I know some people haven't because some people, frankly, don't have the discipline to watch a video. Um, if you've watched this far, what I want to tell you is that whatever it is you're pursuing, just keep going. Just keep going on whatever it is. Don't worry about if you've hit your goals yet or if you haven't. Just keep going because you will hit your goals eventually. And if you're watching this channel, this is clearly something that you're into, right? Is that making progress, self-actualization, self-improvement, these sorts of things. You will make it. So just keep going, keep pursuing it, and do what makes you happy and don't worry about telling anyone else about it. Just do it in private. Share it with the people who you really love and who really love you, and that's it.